Hello, welcome back. As always, thank you for joining me and for taking the time out to pay attention to this, which may seem, in the overall scheme of life, like a little simple thing, but it's very, very important. So I thank you for that. We're going to talk about a question asked by one of you today. It's excellent. It applies to all of us. So it is well worth a standalone video like this one. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much for the question. And before we launch into it and talk about what it is and what we do, because that's really what we're talking about here with A Course in Miracles is what do we do practically, moment to moment? A lot, actually, as it turns out. But let me state that questions are always welcome. At any point, at any point, if there is a pressing issue for you or if there's something that you would like clarification on, I guarantee you, you're not the only one here on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock with the exact same question. Even here in this community, which is just a fraction of the general population of Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock, of course. I mean, it's A Course in Miracles, so we cannot expect at this moment in time that everyone is going to be jumping for joy at the fact that we're practicing it. Right, right. So questions here will benefit the entire community. They will really help to illuminate the path for people that you're not likely to personally meet in this life. It's a community already that's international and it's literally from all over the world. So you will impact in a positive way the trajectory of someone whom you're not likely to bump into on the street ever. And if you do, well, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So that's a long-ish way of saying your questions are most welcome at all times. So the question today is excellent. It's very practical. It's very central to our day-to-day, moment-to-moment doing of the course. And it's how do we bring our darkness to light? Excellent. Yes. How do we bring our darkness to light? That's a very good question. And we talk about bringing our darkness to light in, gosh, it seems like most, if not all, of the videos. And even if we don't use that exact language, that's what we're talking about all of the time when it comes to spirituality. It's a very interesting that this idea of bringing our darkness to light, bringing illusions to the truth, however you want to characterize that in words, that applies to all spirituality, which means it certainly applies to A Course in Miracles. Here it is emphasized and further emphasized, and the importance of it stressed and stressed even more and re emphasized. Yeah, repeatedly. So, what do we do? Oh, actually, let's back up because this would be very useful here. What do we actually mean, our darkness? But that's a legit question, isn't it? It's a very good question. When someone like this pixelated image on your screen says, bring your darkness to light, what exactly is this thing even talking about? Well, the Course has many ways of referring to what we can call our darkness. Most typically, it refers to them as things we'd like to keep to ourselves. Secret hidden hates, in other words, secret disdains and judgments about certain people, about groups of people, judgment about our brother that we want to reserve to ourselves rather than give to the Holy Spirit and recognize. It's the dark stuff you don't want to recognize because it's really nasty. Just that. All of the judgments that you'd prefer to reserve for a certain person, maybe a certain group of people, for yourself, quite possibly. These things that you don't want to look at because they're black, they're ugly, they're extremely painful. That darkness. Yeah. This conversation appears to be happening because we have this. We have these secret hidden hates. And as you well know, spirituality is about bringing the darkness to the light. In other words, there's no enlightenment, there's no awakening without looking at all 100% of these hidden hates, these secret little judgments and disdains that we would prefer to keep private. Well, here's something. There are no private thoughts. Privacy? Ha ha. Uh-uh. There are no private thoughts. Why? There's one mind. Ooh, yeah, one. Not 8 billion plus apparently separate little individualized, compartmentalized minds. One mind. Therefore, what private thought? We can't keep anything private. We simply want to believe very petulantly, like a kid, basically, that we can keep all this darkness to ourselves. We cannot. There are no private thoughts. If you haven't run screaming yet, excellent. Keep going. This is, of course, where a lot of people balk at these teachings and the ego takes over. Yeah, you may be experiencing that right now. A wish to run away and hide. You're invited to sit with this because there's something very powerful and very practical that we can do with all that we fear to look at. We bring it to the light. Okay. How? What we're invited to do throughout this course is give over everything in our experience to the Holy Spirit. Give it over to our inner teacher. Call it whatever you want to call it. Give it to Jesus, give it to the Holy Spirit, give it to your guide or guides, whatever you want to call it or them. It's just a name, collection of sounds. The content of it, the essence, the point of it is that you're bringing your entire experience to this part of our mind that will lead you and guide you, should you let it. Bring every business meeting to the Holy Spirit. Give it over to the Holy Spirit. Give the physical body over to the Holy Spirit. Give your relationships, all of them, over to the Holy Spirit. Give each day over to the Holy Spirit. Let Him run the show. The ego fears to have you do this, knowing full well that you'll find it grossly wanting and set it aside for all time. Mm. Yes, that's the only thing that the ego is correct about, is that you will set it aside. Doesn't have to be today. You can deny this all you want. In fact, you can deny all of this for the rest of this lifetime. Not a single one of us will stop you. Only you will stop yourself. Oh, I know. Adult endeavor, huh? This whole conversation, this whole course is a giant exercise for grown-ups. It's about bringing all of our stuff to the light. Give over your entire experience to the Holy Spirit. Let Him run the show. Once you begin to do it, it's not as scary as it may seem at first, and it could seem really threatening. Understand that that's a normal part of the process. There's nothing abnormal about that. In fact, the ego dies hard, doesn't it? And all resistance that we encounter is of the ego. All of it, 100%. So, what do? We recognize this. We pay attention to our experience. Present moment awareness. I know. You've heard that before. You've heard it from me. You've heard it from plenty of other people. Present moment awareness. You may have wondered why that's considered so important in global spirituality, not just this course, everywhere. Well, it's because if you're habitually running off and judging and indulging your little secret hatreds, and you're not aware of it, how can you possibly expect yourself to awaken? How can you expect yourself to do anything about it if you're not aware of it? So we cultivate present moment awareness. In our experience, there are multiple opportunities to do what we call forgive, to practice forgiveness, the practical centerpiece of A Course in Miracles. It is bringing our darkness to light. What do? We simply pay attention. We cultivate this present moment awareness so that we're aware of what's happening in our mind. Are you judging right now? Okay. Are you afraid? Are you upset? Are you annoyed? Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you in pain? Anything that is not wholly 100% completely joyous, as in joyous, beyond words, even. That's as close as we can get in words. Anything that's not that is an opportunity to forgive. So we cultivate present moment awareness so that we become aware, so that we recognize when we're carried away in this stream of delirium and judgment, because it's going to feel badly. Anytime you don't feel good, it's an opportunity to forgive. What do? We forgive whatever it is that appears to be making us feel badly. What's going on here is it's a projection of our mind. This is a projection of our mind. This is a projection of our mind. The world itself is a projection of our mind. We're forgiving the content of our own mind. Forgive, forgive, forgive. The way that we're taught to do it here, which is look past the surface level where it appears somebody or some group of people is doing something that you disapprove of or that may be out and out ready to harm you. And that's going to produce a feeling of extraordinary discomfort at best sometimes, and it could range all the way up to violence and abject rage. Though you'll know when you're experiencing that if you've cultivated enough present moment awareness to catch yourself in the middle and course correct by forgiving the contents of our mind, forgiving the contents of your mind. That's bringing darkness, the disturbing contents of our mind, to the light of the Holy Spirit, of truth. When we truly forgive, we're looking past the surface level to the essence of what is. There is no separation of any kind. In fact, you may choose to incorporate some sort of a statement or a thought like that in your practice of forgiveness. I often do when I remember to do it because I find it very helpful and well worth the reminder that there has never been any separation of any kind. Your brother is you, literally. Remember, we're looking past the surface level of bodies, which, of course, they appear to be separate. Yeah, this is about the mind. We're seeing things differently. And this is the day to day, moment to moment practice of it. How many practice opportunities will you have? A lot. Anything, anything at all that is not wholly joyous. So you can begin to see the importance of present moment awareness. Therefore, the importance of whatever your practice looks like. Is it a daily ritual or is it spontaneous? But any time you can stop the wild delirium of life, pay attention to what's going on in your mind. It may appear to be going on around you. It's not outside you, it's in your mind. The ego doesn't want us to believe that because that means all conflict is in our mind, including the wars, including the horrible things that people have done to one another throughout history and are doing right now today, as they've always been doing in time. We look past time. This solution, forgiveness, is from outside time. It's from the Holy Spirit, who doesn't do time or space or separation at all. We're choosing to bring our darkness to light by choosing to look at our experience with Him. Let Him judge everything, because our judgment leads to suffering. Huh. There's a better way. Our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, is that way. So we bring our darkness to light by looking with Him at the totality of our experience, forgiving that which is not totally joyous, and recognizing that which is also very important. There's no need to forgive a beautiful sunset that uplifts you, or a piece of art, or a beautiful meal that uplifts you. Transitory though that may be, anything that's joyous here in the world is symbolic of our own radiance as the Son of God, of our own beauty, of our own limitlessness, love, joy, laughter. You know, that. Because our experience here is interspersed with joy. There are moments of great beauty, no question about it. And then 5 minutes later, we discover our hidden hates again, or they pop back up. I know. It's entirely possible over the past 20 minutes or so that you've experienced multiple judgments, possibly of other people, possibly of the pixelated image on your screen, quite possibly of this course itself, which sounds really weird at first. Well, whoever changed comfortably? I mean, ask yourself that, right? There is, in fact, a certain amount of grace for ourselves that goes along with the responsibility of this practice, this adult endeavor of bringing our darkness to light. We are going to make mistakes. Forgive yourself for that. A great course student, a good course student for that matter, is someone who's messed up time and again and forgiven themselves. Huh. I mean, we are extremely harsh on ourselves here in the world, expecting perfection at every turn and utterly denigrating ourselves if we're not perfect in the world's eyes. So, a little forgiveness of yourself. In fact, every time I appear to be forgiving someone else, and that's every time, because if there's a true forgiveness lesson, it's because I've seen things upside down and backwards, basically. I've stopped at the level of form and I've made what my brother appears to be doing or what I appear to be doing here in the world real to me. It's not. Look past it with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Forgive and forgive yourself for dreaming it. Please do not forget to do that. What we're looking at is our own dream, which is by and large, in the overall scheme of things, a conflict ridden nightmare with some beautiful sunsets in between, and some peaceful moments, and moments of relative prosperity where we find our little secret hidden hates still pop up for our forgiveness on a silver platter. You could choose to see all of these as a golden opportunity. They are. That's what everything that appears here on wobbling, spinning ball of rock is for, our forgiveness. The more you practice it, the more habitual it becomes, and, well, you will not see things the same way ever again, which is a very good thing, because the way we see them now is backwards. It's upside down. It's completely inverted. 180 degrees incorrect. So we accept the correction of our perception. We accept what the Course refers to as atonement for ourselves. And we catch ourselves in the act, so to speak, with our practice of present moment awareness. It's why meditation's a thing. It is. That's exactly why meditation and mindfulness practices are a thing. If you've ever wondered that, and I often wondered it sitting in meditation and things like that, going, why am I doing this? I mean, it feels kind of good, and I'm resonating with it somehow, but what's the point? That's the point. So that you may become aware of the content of your own mind and anything that's disturbing, truly forgive, to bring your awareness back to true forgiveness of the Son of God, as though it's the breath in a formal seated meditation. It's a perfect example. Bring your awareness back to your relationship with the Holy Spirit. Distracted, judge, bring your awareness back to forgiveness, true forgiveness of the Son of God that looks past the surface level drama to the truth of what is. We're allowing truth to be itself, but we must look at all of our stuff. So we bring it in this way to the light, the Holy Spirit representing the light of truth. And what happens when you bring darkness to light? The light shines it away. It's like walking into a dark room, flipping on the light switch. The darkness is gone. It vanishes. It doesn't need to be conquered. You don't club the darkness to death. You don't pull out a sword, a sharpened blade, and slice it and run it through. You simply shine the light of truth on it. And the light of truth shines all by itself without our help, without our interference. We simply bring our stuff to it to be undone. That is how this works. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, the more you become aware. If you're going through the workbook for students, all of the so-called practice periods that we do or mostly forget to do each day are in fact meditation sessions. They're exercises in present moment awareness. I can't underscore that enough. Feel yourself distracted, bring your awareness back to true forgiveness of the Son of God. Again and again, as many times as you remember to do it, and then get up tomorrow and do the same thing. Bring all of that darkness to light. We fear to look upon it, thinking it's going to kill us. It's going to be so uncomfortable we can't handle it. Yet, it's very easy to let it all go. Look at it with the Holy Spirit. You'll find it's gone. Okay, so this is an excellent practical question for everybody. So I hope that over the past few minutes, you've heard something that you'll be able to put into practice. Actually, that's the point. That's the point of all these videos. While we may be talking about the metaphysics of the Course, we are. It's a practical matter. It's all about practice because it's through our day-to-day, moment-to-moment practical application of these ideas that our experience does the very powerful thing that it does. It shows us these ideas are true. Actually do the course, your experience shows you the ideas are true. That's the way it works. So your questions are, as always, 100% welcome here. And this is a great one because it applies to the practice as a whole. So if you have other questions, I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you just want to pop in and say hello, it is an international community. And thank you to those of you who have recently joined us. People are literally here from every continent. Except maybe Antarctica. I don't know. If you're in Antarctica currently, give us a shout and let us know. That would be the only one that I haven't heard about. But people are here all over the world listening to the call of the Holy Spirit and answering it, which is critically important at all times. So keep going with that. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. The prompt is here. Go ahead, click that, join us, and we will see you again on the next video.